Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to our business strategy live stream where you can follow us. I'm Alec from Easier Habits. I'm a business coach, and I will be doing our daily strategy session with Meg on her business, her executive communication coaching business, that where maybe a lot of you can relate. She's had health issues and other reasons why she's had to ramp that business down, and now she's trying to ramp it back up, get more clients at her ideal rate. So this week we've been talking a lot about how to scale up what has been working for her. So the clients she's gotten from one particular Japanese entrepreneur group, how can she find more groups, and also how can she get more clients from the groups that she is involved with. So, but we wanted to try something new. So we'll start out with a communication tip from Meg, and we'll finish after the strategy tip after the strategy session with a habit tip that I'll give you.
Yay! So communication tip number 1, and I tell this to everybody. Be simple in what you say. If you're a native speaker of English, we have a tendency to use a lot of metaphors and idioms and things that make no sense for speakers of other languages. And those things are really difficult to learn. And if you're a non-native speaker, right, understanding these complex ways of saying things, it's just a lot of work. And so for native speakers, if you keep it simple, people will understand you better. You don't sound smarter or cooler by using difficult English, right? It's just harder in a global economy, in a global English-speaking environment. And for non-native speakers, don't worry. You don't have to use those big, crazy words. Use the simple words, because then you'll be able to speak with more confidence and with more clarity, and you'll know that you're using the words correctly.
Awesome. So to follow up, we had a few more groups for you. And so I think your main task was that you're going to check out those groups and join them.
Yes, and so I did that yesterday, and it was really cool. So I found the ones that Alec had shown me from his research, and then based on those ones, I did a couple of more research terms in Japanese to see if I could find more groups, and found a couple more, not a ton more though, surprisingly, and then applied to be a member of all of them. Obviously, when you apply to be a member of a group, there's a little bit of a waiting period. They want to vet you to make sure you're not like a spam bot or something, but I was let into several of them, and I was able to start posting. And what was really great, as I was going through these things, I've been able to see other people who were doing similar things to me, as well as seeing, like with these Japanese entrepreneur groups, what some of the skill gaps are that I could help fill. And so in my introduction posts, I'm able to say, hey, look, you guys are dealing with this issue. I help with that issue, and give some value there, giving just a little tip, kind of like I did just now, with here's some things if you're working on this. Let me know if you have any questions. And so I'll hopefully be able to start some things from that. But one of the other things I found was that there's this Google entrepreneur startup workspace in Tokyo that had this amazing kind of tell your story workshop like 2 weeks ago. And I was looking at that and thinking, oh my gosh, that would have been perfect to help people with, because it talks about your communication skills and doing pitches and branding and how you're able to talk with others. And I could have been a speaker there. I could have applied to be a speaker. And so, but knowing that that was something that has happened, I can also look out for opportunities like that coming up. And so I use it as a learning time to say, okay, well, I missed that one, but Alec made a great suggestion of connecting with people who did attend it and kind of, maybe asking questions or figuring out ways that I could follow up on that. And then obviously keep my eye out for future events that I could help out with.
Yeah, as I've had a few minutes to think about that, I think there's a couple things that indicates, like, one, the fact that, it said that you missed it, but the fact that they had an event you really wish you'd gone to is a sign that you found a good group.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's great. Like, that is a great sign. You should hope that, like, when you're looking at past posts and groups, that you find stuff that you're like, I wish I was a part of that. And then the other thing is, so you can connect with people who are there and ask them about it, because, you know, just naturally, right? Like, it's just start from where you are and connect with where you are. Like, I'm bummed I missed that. I just joined the group. Could you tell me about that? Is a great natural way to connect to people. But the other thing is reach out to other people, because you're probably not the only person that missed it. Reach out to other people like, hey, you know, if, like, is there anybody else who, you know, missed this event and, you know, wants to tell their story? I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah.
You know, and invite them. Again, don't be spammy. It doesn't have to be all promoting what you're doing, but like give other people a chance to shine, engage with them from where they're at. So
well, and when I hear stuff like that, that's the kind of engagement that I love. Like I have I don't want to say a great ability, but I'm pretty good at networking when I'm in person with people. I talk to everybody, and I have zero embarrassment of just like striking up a conversation with strangers in elevators. And so for me, that part isn't hard. It's the like, hey, you want to buy my product, or, you know, like selling myself. But in situations like that, it is so natural, and you can see like exactly where their pain points are and how I can help them, as opposed to, you want this thing that I have. It's like, no, I see you have that problem. I can help you with that. And so it's that kind of engagement that it will hopefully, you know, start and get rolling.
Right. Well, and I think the way to think of it is, you know, I mean, they say like offer 6, I mean, this is on your own social media, like 6 posts of value for every ask. Yeah. It probably should be even more for other groups. Yeah. But I think the other thing to think about is just in terms of like the interaction cycle with people, right? You want your first interaction with them to be an easy, no-brainer win. And, you know, giving something away for free for like the first interaction is fantastic. Yeah. You just want to think about, after you've done that, what could you invite, how could you invite them to engage with you more? Yeah. And it doesn't have to be buy my services, right? Yeah. In fact, maybe even ideally, it's like, hey, if you liked those storytelling tips, check out my blah, blah, blah on pitch decks. Yeah. Or something, which is also storytelling in a business context, right? And then, you know, create a few resources like that, put that behind an email list, right? For example, right? So like that would be the next level, is like, all right, you know, if you like that, check out this resource, and like all I'm asking is you join my free email list. And even on the email list, right, you're not selling every email. You're you know, providing regular tips, and then so like that's kind of your funnel. And I think the mistake people make is either trying to go for the sale immediately, right? And some people will be ready for that. Like, if someone's interested, they're like, I want to know more about what you do. Like, absolutely sell yourself, right? Yeah. But, you know, I do this. Is that something you're interested in, right? If they're asking, you know, that's naturally. But, like, if they're not asking for sales, right, then, you know, step them up to more engagement. Join my email list, you know, hopefully read my emails, you know, follow through on this offer, etc. So, and then the flip side of that is just not thinking through how to step up that engagement. Yeah. Just having the same engagement of like, let me give you one-on-one free content every single time. And if you're figuring out what you want to do, that actually might not be bad, but eventually you want to codify some of the things that you're doing so into that you like don't have to keep an offer, a product, and you're like, hey, I get this question all the time. In fact, I have this FAQ resource here, check out my website. Or like, you know, I have a like a worksheet on this thing. Like, check it out on my website. And of course you have to sign up to an email list to get the thing or whatever, right? And that's like, that becomes a natural way of doing it. So you can build up to that, but you don't want to stay in that space where you're just offering free value every interaction repeatedly for the same person. You want to kind of like move the relationship forward. So
yeah, I like that. And it's you know, being able to, I also like that idea of being able to repurpose the stuff for other things. And so it helps reduce the amount of work that I feel like I have to do by saying, well, look, you can reuse this in lots of different contexts. So yeah.
So I mean, we'll probably dive into this next week, but is that probably like a good bigger first Monday strategy session to talk about would be the, like, how are you going to engage people?
Yes, I think that would probably be a good thing. And then how to organize all of that, like just kind of talking through, where am I going to keep stuff and the logistics of that, because Organization is not my strong suit. I'm great at talking. I'm great at like teaching. I'm great at learning, but planning the things out and making sure that it's consistent throughout in a way that's sustainable. I could use some work on that.
Yeah. So. Having like a posting content strategy, an engagement strategy, like offers, and not just, again, offers of work, but like offers of get this, sign up to my email list to get this, etc.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that next week. So my productivity / personal habit tip, it will be a corollary to what you were talking about in terms of keeping it simple. A lot of times we think about the best way to do something. What's the best post I could possibly make for this group? And you can psych yourself out trying to create the best post and really flip that around, which is what's the smallest clear unit of value, like, right, you want it to be valuable, but like what's the smallest thing I could do and how many times could I do that? And one of the things that, like, as we have multiple groups that will allow you to do is, you've been able to do the intro post multiple times. You've been able to like see what kinds of events and problems they're having multiple times, and so like that repeated is what's going to multiply the success. So when we think about like, a post strategy or an engagement strategy, again, like, keep it simple. And there's a great video I was watching this week as well that was just underscoring that a lot of people in producing content are trying to come up with something crazy and new when a lot of times people simply need to be reminded of what's most important because it's already been said somewhere, and be reminded by someone who feels authentic, who's being like, who has your unique perspective, and that's what you're going to add to it just by being you and reminding them, so you don't have to create something amazingly brilliant each post or each offer. You just have to address their core needs. Yeah,
and I've learned that from you as well, being able to find other people who are posting similar content, repost their stuff, and then add just a little bit of your own experience, which I actually did this morning with someone I found in one of these groups.
Right.
But yeah, that stuff like that is so much easier than thinking, okay, like building up, how can I do the absolute best thing that everyone is going to be in awe of me or something.
Right. You can cross-post on media if there's someone in the group that you really want to cozy up to and get to know, or you really like their posts, go share some of their content outside of the group on Twitter and tag them, that will get their attention, right?
Yeah.
There's all sorts of ways that, again, it's like, you don't have to have the majority of your content be brilliant, original, blog length articles.
Yep. So it's exciting. It makes it so much more manageable.
All right. Well, thank you for watching the video. And if you can, subscribe so that other people can see these strategy sessions. They're a great way to get an idea of what business coaching is like, get some executive communication tips, and figure out, in this case, how to build a solopreneur service-based business.
All right. Bye.